And if you can understand why, the psychology of why they buy, you can predict when and if they'll buy.
So I'm here with Jesse, who's a very accomplished writer and professor of writing, and well, I'll let you do your own intro.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah, so we're salespeople, we're marketers, we're brand builders. I mean, what are some just actionable tips that you can provide to us that we can start doing today without spending a lot of money?
Yeah, absolutely. You need updates. You need daily updates of something new. This product that I have, something new is coming, something new has happened, and that new thing doesn't have to be a whole new hardware or software program. It's just a small thing. We've added a different color. We brought one person onto the team that is an expert in this. So just showing that you care enough to not be stagnant. You're not trying to be static, because you know that your customers aren't stagnant.
How do we incorporate the human touch?
So rather making a video for your brand and just putting slogans and just putting like a bunch of words and pictures and facts, and yeah, that's helpful, but if you can even just have one person saying those things, that little touch is really going to up the human factor, which is really going to play in the psychology of making sales.
Playing to the ego. What do you mean by that, playing to the ego?
Playing to the ego is when you are trying to get a customer, you should be trying to play to their ego. So somehow you're making them feel like they're keeping a promise, or they are helping the world, or they're donating to charity. So what they are buying is somehow also making them feel good as a person. So it's not just the emotional connection to what they want personally, but it's a greater emotional connection to something outside of themselves that makes them feel like they could say to another person, well, when I bought these shoes, they donated another pair of shoes to somebody else. Ego has this connotation of being this like arrogant bad thing, but the truth is we all need a little affirmation from time to time that it's not just about us, it's about other people. So when we buy something, we like to feel that we are helping someone else by doing that.
Scarcity, limited edition?
So the scarcity principle, as I'm sure you know as a marketer, is the idea that the more limited edition or exclusive something is, the more people will feel compelled to buy it because they think it's a scarce resource.
Yeah.
You're aware of the tragedy of the commons?
I've heard that before.
Yeah. So the tragedy of the commons is mostly an economics term, but is also a sustainability term. It applies to everything in life. Is the idea that, let's say we have 2 cows and we have 3 families living in one community. First family goes in and say, oh, I gotta think of my family. I can't think of these others. So they take 1 cow for themselves. Rather than working together, there was a fear of the scarcity of the resource. And so they took it for themselves, not thinking about how it would impact others. So that's the tragedy of the common. But scarcity principle plays into that. This fear that something is scarce, so you grab it before it can go away. So if you can somehow make your product seem limited edition, exclusive, or scarce, there's only one left of these, hurry before it runs out, and up the chances of someone buying.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of integrations on e-commerce experiences where they show that limited supply. Problem solving.
So you gotta show that you understand their pain point. You don't just say, I understand your pain. You literally show, this is exactly what's wrong, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, I fully understand what's the problem. What problem exactly are you trying to acknowledge and address? Lay that out, show them, oh, I know how frustrating it was when you couldn't do this on your phone. It sucked when you didn't have emoji. Show how frustrating it was for you, and then show exactly how you fix that. Because again, that's gonna make them feel like, you understood me. I can trust you. So be a problem solver. Sometimes companies will only point out the problem. So, oh, this was missing and this was a problem. Buy our product. But they don't say exactly how their product will fix the problem. So that's usually the missing connection.
Got it. We talked about scarcity, we talked about the human touch, we talked about problem solving, being honest.
I know that was a lot, but there's so much behind what makes someone decide to buy. And if you can understand why, the psychology of why they buy, you can predict when and if they'll buy.